G'day, today I'll be presenting my app called the NZX Notifier. This app's objective is to take announcements posted on the NZX website, New Zealand Stock Exchange, and display them in a user-friendly manner. So without further ado, we'll open the app and we'll have a look at our announcements. Now you see here, each row is an announcement on this is the company title, FPH, Fisher and Paykel. This is the announcement type, general, the announcement date, and the title of the announcement. We can scroll through these announcements, and if we want, we can pull down to refresh. And it might take a while. So yeah, as you can see there, we got a few new announcements, SPK instead of FPH, and we're displaying time instead of date because it's today. We can also search for announcements at the bottom. So for example, if I want to look at all of SPK's announcements, I can go SPK, and it shows me all of SPK's announcements. Then I can go back to the announcements by pressing the left arrow on the right of the search bar. Now that's pretty basic, so there has to be some other features for this app to do. One of them is blacklisting certain announcements. Say for example, I don't want to see share into type announcements. So we'll open up our navigation menu by clicking the hamburger icon, and we'll go to our blacklist. So here we have three different tabs which we can blacklist certain things on: companies, type, and keyword. So we'll start with adding the keyword or the share into type, as I said. So we'll just check mark share into, go back to announcements, and they don't show up anymore. We can also blacklist certain words, maybe Auckland. Maybe I'm a true Wellingtonian and hate Auckland, so I'll blacklist Auckland. So it's got Auckland on my blacklist up there, and we'll go back to my announcements, and I no longer see the Air New Zealand or Air International, whatever it was. So we'll go back to our blacklist. Maybe we want to see that announcement again, so we'll go into my keywords. I'll deselect Auckland, and if we go back to the announcements view, it pops up again. We can also blacklist companies, so AIA, via the same method. We just click the plus icon, enter the company, or if we want to cancel that, we can just hit the back button up there. Now that can also be quite slow. Maybe you don't want to switch to all these other views, so we've got a menu on the right of the announcement here that you can press. React Native is so fast. So it gives me a bunch of different things I can do with this announcement. I can open the NZX site, which I just click that, it opens up a link to the actual announcement on the NZX website. Go back to the app. I can also search AIA announcements, or I can directly blacklist not yet implemented, blacklist the company or blacklist the type. So I'll just blacklist AIA, and it clears it from the announcements list. We'll go to my blacklist, and it's got AIA in the blacklist. In terms of UX decisions, I completely redesigned the way that the blacklist settings looked. However, that consists of quite a few UX decisions, so I'll only cover one for now. This is my old Ionic app. Here we have in our blacklist company settings, we have an add company button here. So we click the plus button and it sends us to a new screen to add a company. All the companies in the blacklist are just listed below the add company button. However, in my new React Native app, I moved that plus button up into the navigation bar. Now this has two benefits. The first is that there's a stronger association with pressing the plus button with navigating to a new screen, and the second benefit is that we have more room to list companies, which is very useful for small devices. However, this does come with one inherent flaw. It's not as clear to new users what this plus button does. So to solve that, when there are no companies blacklisted, it shows them a message telling them to add companies to the blacklist by pressing the plus icon. For my external component, I just use the same external component as my Ionic project. So this is a Spring Boot backend server hosted on Heroku. Spring Boot is a Java-based framework which lets you build a RESTful API for mobile applications to connect to a backend. So on my app, I'll just refresh my list of announcements, and as you can see there, it just pops up with the HTTP requests.